Secondhand Toy Dealer here, and here is a toy haul for the month of July. So we have an M2 die-cast pack with a couple figures. Look how cool this is. You got a Bronco, really detailed car, and then you've got a little figure there and his companion. How cool would this be if they decided to make a bunch of stuff like this, but they did licensed stuff? I mean, you could do a Back to the Future set with Marty and Doc. You could do a Big Lebowski with the dude's van and Walter. I mean, like, how many different sets could they make? They could do a Halo Jeep with a couple Spartans. I mean, there'd be a lot of really good ideas, and I hope that they do more with this line. But that's pretty cool. That's gonna go here. And then I finally found an Indiana Jones. I was looking for the Last Crusade variant, but the Cairo one, that's not a bad one either. So I'm not a fan of the windowless packaging that they have gotten rid of since releasing this, but I think I've sold all of my examples of windowless packaging, so he will go over here like so. I was just thinking a few weeks ago that I don't think I have a good R2-D2 in my collection, and no sooner as I thought that, I found this in the clearance section. Now, it was only like $6 off, originally $24.97. Picked it up for $19. I think I've even seen examples of guys on TikTok finding this figure for $5 in the Walmart clearance section. But what blew my mind is I am very confident. I walk through my toy section on a every other day basis at my Walmart, which is only like a couple miles from my house. And this was never set out. It was basically taken out of the case and put directly into the clearance section. And they discounted it. I probably would have paid full price for this because this is a really good action figure. 6-inch version of R2-D2. But I was happy to find it on clearance. Would have been awesome to find it for $5, but still, to find this, to scratch that itch for an R2-D2 action figure, that's pretty cool. Over at Five Below, I found a couple more South Park figures. So you've got Stan, and I'll just set him here in the corner with Kenny and Cartman. And then they've got Kyle. Now, I do believe that there is a fifth one, Butters, but to me that's the OG4, so I don't know if I'll leave those there or if I will try and clear space off on the pegboard for them, but for now, that'll work. I am not much of a weird Rubik's Cube collector. My son is a big time cube collector, and he beat his record. His new record is 23 seconds to solve a Rubik's Cube. He's very good. I'm very impressed with his. He's only 14. But this was 75% off. So for $3.75, I thought, oh shoot, I'll buy it, toss it somewhere. So I don't know where I'm going to put it, and it's quite possible that it'll just end up in my son's collection of Rubik's Cubes. But that was a pretty cool clearance price. Speaking of clearance prices, here is the Micro Galaxy Squadron Fang Fighter. Originally $14.97. Got it on clearance for $6. And this is an interesting story. I've actually been eyeing this ship for a while. I think that's a pretty cool looking ship. I'll probably get it out of package. I'm not going to display it new in package. And I was very tempted to purchase it at $15. And then this was actually in the clearance section, and the price tag above the peg said it was going to ring up for $10. I took it to the cash register, and it rang up for full price, and so I just set it to the side and didn't buy it. And then I found it for $6. Now, they would have had me at $10, but it didn't ring up for $10. And then a few weeks later, I found it back on that same peg with a tag on it that said $6, and it actually rang up for $6. So I don't buy a lot to open and take out of package, but this one I think is going to be pretty fun. And then another Walmart clearance purchase. Got these Voltron blind boxes, and they were originally $14.98, and you could get one of 5 different versions of the Voltron robot, and I actually got all 5. You've got the rare transparent sparkle gold, the silver, the original, the black and gold, and the transparent. I had already purchased one at full price, and when I saw that they had dropped the price to $8, I thought that's a pretty fair price. I'm just going to buy them all and try and complete the collection, which I did. I ended up with 4 duplicates, 2 black and gold, and 2 original. I've already sold 1 original on Facebook, so that was pretty cool and a great clearance find. And then finally, I picked up some more Musclemen. I had a few, just like 5 or 6, across the bottom of this container, and I wanted to fill this container, and I found somebody on Facebook Marketplace that was selling their collection of, I think they had 72 Musclemen, and they sold it for $100, which, I mean, like, you go to a toy show or a toy store, and a lot of times they're wanting $5 a piece for these. So I think that put me at like $1.60 something a piece, and so I picked out the ones I wanted to top off this little container, and I sold the rest on Facebook Marketplace. So that's kind of fun to have filled the container. I think that if I see more at toy shows and they're a decent price, I may look and see if I can find more that I had as a kid. There's quite a few of these in here that I picked out that I had as a kid. Some of them that were familiar to me that I never had. So that's a lot of fun. Alright, how has your hunting been going? What kinds of things have you been finding? Thanks for checking out my video. Hopefully, we will catch you in the next one.
That was awesome! Yes! That's awesome!
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Are you gonna be a dork your whole life? Hope not.
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly. I offer a complete and utter retraction. The imputation was totally without basis in fact and was in no way fair comment and was motivated purely by malice. And I deeply regret any distress that my comments may have caused you or your family. And I hereby undertake not to repeat any such slander at any time in the future.